Go glow and feel the flow. What's up, y'all? So today we're back at it again. Today we're gonna talk about the whole illusion of fame. Cause last night I was listening to one of my favorite YouTubers, and he was just talking about like how people focus so much on like fame and just stuff. Let me fix this. Yeah. So basically, he was just talking about like how people like they focus so much on like fame and stuff, and like just how much of it is a lie in a way, but not even a lie, but how much of it like isn't really that fulfilling. And I feel like it's just something that like people they strive for it, or they do things that famous people do because they want to be like them, because that's what they see, and they feel like that's the epitome of perfection, I guess. And they don't realize that even them people themselves that they're following and trying to imitate, that they're truly not happy. Um, so I'll give you an example from my perspective first, and then honestly, I don't even like you don't even need to see other perspectives, because you see them all the time. You see how a lot of celebrities become depressed, and how a lot of them like just they talk about having everything and then either humbling themselves. And one person who did that was J. Cole. He humbled himself after some time, and he realized a lot of stuff is just overrated. And yeah, people just talk about how like a lot of like the game and the media, like it's just overhyped. So I'll start with my example. So mine was like a little story time back to um it was around like the end of my freshman year of high school. And it was a time where like I really wanted to change, because I spent the whole like freshman year just being really stiff and rigid, and I spent it kind of like just focusing on work, and I wanted to experiment more in the sophomore year. That's why I kept saying it's the year of experimentation. After that summer, going into sophomore year, and I started to take things easy and be more laid back, which is kind of why my grades flipped. But that's a whole separate discussion. But in a nutshell, yeah, basically, like I started with social media, so it was around the time when we had like a little like a school retreat, and we had to buy jeans, because I was used to just going out like wearing sweatpants and sport clothes since I was playing soccer at the time. And I was like, yeah, let me get sport clothes. So let me not get sport clothes, because I always get sport clothes. Let me get something a little bit different. So I got some jeans, and then after that, that's when I started to want to change like my wardrobe and stuff. So I bought like t-shirts, like the one here. This wasn't from the time, but just a lot of graphic t-shirts like this. Um, and I got into social media, and I downloaded Instagram. That was the very first thing that I did. Snapchat wasn't up until I think like that summer, so later on. But yeah, I was on it for a long time, and I think in the beginning, like at first, it was to network with people, and then later on, it started being based on like followers and stuff. And the goal was to get higher than a lot of people, because I started off with like one or two people, and then over time, just using it day by day, like all the time, like being on it at least like 14 hours a day, and always being on the site. Um, yeah, over time it grew, and like when I got to my first 100 people, I remember I was in Georgia. I was happy. Later on, after that, like I got up to 1,000, and then it just kept going like clockwork. And before I knew it, I was beating out some people that I had like 2,000, like in my school. And yeah, it was just kind of a number. So after that, I got up to 5,000, and people kept saying, "Oh, you're a fake page. It's not real. You can't have that many people." But it is possible. You can. You just have to be on the app that much, and you just have to follow people all the time and constantly be using the app. Um, so that's kind of how like I learned that like some accounts are fake. Like when they say K after them, sometimes in regards to Instagram, some of those can be fake. They can be bought followers, or sometimes Instagram, like if you pay them, they'll put in the K for you. And a lot of celebrities do that too, because not a lot of people follow celebrities like to the point where they can track them. So sometimes they pay for that service, and they'll put K, um, which just stands for thousand. But I did it naturally, and then the point of change, never gonna forget. It was when I went to Los Angeles, when I went to UCLA for pre-college. So I went, I think it was in like July, like the very first day of July, like July 2nd. And over time there, I got up to like 8,700. And then when I came back, I had the same amount, but it was when I came back and I started working out and learning how to like value my body and getting into fitness that I realized that it's just a number. And that's the thing, people don't realize that having that many people is just a number. And you can literally be like the loneliest person in the world, but people can perceive you as really popular because I would always be posting videos from my time in LA when I had 100 people around me all the time, and I was really like just vibing with the people there. And yeah, like it just shows that like quality matters more than quantity. Because after a while, it was just a number. It was like, now what? I have like 8,700 people following me. At the time, I was probably following like 3,000. But the point was that it shows that like a lot of stuff is like kind of overrated. And it's the same thing that goes back to like celebrities, because I had that status sorry, at that time, and people like when they met me like in LA, they were like, oh, you must be popular in your hometown in NYC or whatever. And I'm just like, no, like it really is just a number. And that's when I started realizing like you want to have like a good group of supportive people around you. And you know, you just want to like actually appreciate stuff. Not don't be so focused on the amount of things that you have, but appreciate what you do have that you value. Um, but I just remember that, and then after a while, like I stopped really using the app. I would mainly, I think, I would use it to like talk to people, because that summer later, like after that, summer 18, I was going to college, so I started like making friends and meeting people. But the point is that that's why a lot of celebrities are sad, because they realize that like a lot of stuff is overrated, and like you really, really like you just have a bunch of people who kind of like you, but they're not really that close to you, and you don't feel that happy. So the point of all that, you know, that whole rant and that story, is that you really need to know what happiness is for you, and you really need to learn how to like just truly find like your happy place and focus on things that actually matter. And you can take it from me, and I didn't listen to it because people always said like fame and stuff like it's not that important. But when you experience it yourself, you realize that it's not that important. Like you really don't feel like a sense of like true pride when you're not connecting to people, and like you really just see something that's a number. Like that's it. So yeah, that's my little social media rant and like popularity rant. So we'll make more videos in the future. And just like and subscribe and comment and discuss below, because I want to know what you guys are talking about. So